Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of the Chuck and Ruck Show. I'm your host, the Ruck. To my left, it's my boy Chuck. What it do, boy?
Yo, what's happening?
What's going on, my man? What's going on? Obviously something crazy, something just happened. Obviously something crazy just happened. So let's not waste any time and let's get to the breaking news. Top of the hour. It's finally over. After all the dust is settled and after the smoke is clear, it's finally over. The madness is done. Deshaun Watson saga is finally over. He is officially at he officially got 11 games suspended with a $5 million fine. Um, after the back and forth detail with Sue Robinson and the Lee C. Harveys of the world, the settlement deal finally came to a head. The NFL and the PA and himself settled on 11 games and a $5 million fine. He is also supposed to be seeking some type of treatment along the way, and the $5 million supposed to be going to a non whatever. I'm sure you get it.
Yeah, non-profit.
Yeah, to a nonprofit organization. Um, so Chuck, your thoughts on the matter? Is it too light, too hefty, or just about right?
Well, the 11 games, I think it's a compromise because it was well documented that Goodell and the NFL wanted the full year, and Deshaun didn't think he deserved any games. So 11 games is a compromise. I believe it's just several ways to view the situation. But as far as me personally, I think Deshaun got off easy with 11 games.
So, hmm. I personally feel 11 games. How do I go about this? How do I really go about this? So 11 games is the situation that it's a peaceful ending to this whole scenario. I feel as though that the PA is a settlement agreement, so there will be no additional legal matter into it. There will be no suing. There will be no federal prosecutor. No, none of that. So all of that's done. This is officially over. So thank goodness for that. However, I can't help but to personally feel, though, that there is still a lot wrong with this whole scenario. I just can't help but to feel it. Yes, I get it. I get it because I know people will sit here and say, well, Deshaun Watson's a creep. Yeah. He's a creep. Yes, I get it. What Deshaun Watson technically did was horrible. And yes, I believe me, I wouldn't want to be a part of this whole scenario myself. Like it is that's just a whole nother level. What's just wrong, and I wouldn't want this drama on my worst enemy. Let's just be perfectly blunt here. But if you want me to be perfectly honest here, for everyone that sits here that potentially screams about all Deshaun Watson shouldn't be in this league, he shouldn't be playing all this other stuff. Okay, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fair and honest. But if you sitting up here and you scream in this same scenario about Deshaun Watson, you need to sit here and scream the same BS towards Dan Snyder for the shit that he has basically done with the Washington Commanders and everything he has ran in his franchise. You need to scream the same bullshit that fucking Jerry Jones, what he has done with Dallas Cowboys for all the hush money that brother has paid off on the side. I mean, hell, if you want me to be perfectly honest here, what Jerry Jones has done, Vince McMahon was forced out of WWE altogether. So let's be honest on that one. So don't sit here and tell me that Deshaun Watson was wrong when yet you got owners who sit here who run the NFL together and they still doing their thing all together. And yet with Deshaun, what they're doing is just as bad, if not worse. So, but that's a whole nother scenario right there. Having said that, like I said, I'm just particularly glad this is over. I'm glad this is over. We can all officially move on from here. We can all put this aside. All the headaches from the coaching staff don't have to be wondering like what's going to happen here, how many games is going to be missing and everything, and they could just focus on the first 11 games of who their potential starter quarterback is going to be, which is going to lead to my next question. So, Chuck, we know that there was a certain, we know that as it stands right now, Jacoby Brissett is, as of now, the starting QB. But there is a certain individual that has been on the trading block for the last few weeks here, and that is Jimmy Garoppolo from San Francisco. So, Chuck, would you potentially make that trade for Jimmy G and have him bring him here for the first 11 games, even though that will cost you at least $28 million towards your salary cap?
Absolutely. I would go get Jimmy. I would be on the phone right now, at least attempting to see what they want. Because as I'm looking at the schedule, um the first four games, the first four games of the year really seem winnable. Then those next four, those are pretty tough games. I don't I don't really see the Browns winning two. They may go 0-4 or 1-3. Even with Deshaun, they're going to be tough. But that 3-game stretch right before Deshaun gets back with the Bengals, the Dolphins, and the Bills. Now, those are the three that I feel are really up for grabs. And I think those may be the games that, in fact, actually tell you if the Browns will actually have an opportunity to make the playoffs. And I know what Jimmy G is. Jimmy G is a winning quarterback. He has led his team to the Super Bowl, multiple NFC championship games, and Jacoby he's a career backup. And I think if you stick with Jacoby, you're basically letting the fans know we're punting it on this season. But if they go out and get Jimmy G, there's a real chance the Browns could be in the playoff hunt when Deshaun does come back against the Houston Texans on December 4th.
Oh man, I cannot imagine the atmosphere that game is going to be. That is going to be a horrific, ugly, bloodthirsty atmosphere. Oh man. Oh Lord have mercy, that's going to be an ugly atmosphere. But back on to Jimmy G. Yes, if you know that your so you gonna have to know something on your team is going to potentially carry you for most of your for this season for that to be the case. Um, Throughout this whole off season, that most have said that our defense, has been relatively pretty good. Like Miles Garrett has basically has said it. JOK has said it. Ward has hinted at it. So a lot of them has basically said that the defense has shown signs to be really, really, really good this offseason. And they show hints last season as well too. Um so if you know that you're defensively that we have that potential to be dominant, I mean, why not sit here and just try to see how good could potentially be? That's hell, in my personal opinion, that's why you went after and you took the ultimate risk to get someone like Deshaun Watson. Yeah, you know all the baggage that he carried, but you also knew that outside of all of that, Deshaun Watson was a top five, hell, top 10, maybe top five QB in the entire league. That's why you took that risk to get him. The thing about Jimmy G was that he did something last year that was completely insane. Yes, he did not put up great numbers at all in the postseason whatsoever. But the thing about him was that he carried he managed that team all the way to the NFC Championship game and almost this close led that team to a victory against the Rams. Like that team was just about close to beat the Rams and almost went into the Super Bowl last year. So Jimmy G does not put up winnable numbers, but he does put that team in. He does put your team in winnable situations that you can get a W. So, and it's already been put out there that Trey Lance has been named the starting QB. So, if I am the Browns, I mean, what else do you have to lose in this potential situation? Like you got 11 games out there. This is not a shot against Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett is a fine QB, but he's shown last year when he was with the Dolphins that he can manage. He can manage, and he is good. But he is good statistically, but he does not win games. He's just not a winning QB, just not at all. And I just personally feel that you have to have the guy that could just win you games. And the way this team is set up, especially on the defensive side of the ball, why not have the guy that could potentially carry you on the defensive side of could carry you and just for the sake of it. And I feel Jimmy G would be the best would be the best of the best in that case there. And you mentioned something earlier too, because we had this discussion earlier. Like even though even though Deshaun Watson is suspended in the first 11 games there, I feel as though there is a lot of situations here. There's a lot of situations here where this could be a lot of fireable offenses here for a lot of cases here, particularly one Kevin Stefanski. I feel as though that could be the case. Like you had like let's be honest here, like you had a lot of things that was kind of you had one particular thing that was against you when you came here, particularly that was Baker Mayfield. Like you never was really fond of Baker when he first came here. Like you never really that was not your guy. I guess in this particular case, Deshaun Watson is your guy. Yeah, you don't really have the guy for the first 11 games, but you have a defense that you can basically carry. Um, if you really basically just sit here and I just really get the feeling like at this point, this is kind of like a do or die situation for him. Like within the next 2 years, this is definitely do or die for Kevin Stefanski. Am I crazy for saying that? Am I?
No, no, I would no, I would not call you crazy. This is it all depends on how the Browns start. If we start out, let's say they don't make the move for Jimmy G, and the Browns start out in the first 10 games, 2-8 or something crazy like that. I think you got to really look at the situation. Like, how are they losing the games? Are they losing because of poor quarterback play, or are they losing because of what we perceive to be the strengths of the team, which is the run game and the defense, not producing? Now, if we're losing because of poor quarterback play, you can't really blame Stefanski. You can say, "Hey, I'm dealing with the hand I was dealt," but if the defense is not playing up to par, or the run game has fallen off a cliff, then I think it becomes real interesting to see, what they're gonna do with Stefanski, because I know it's a certain coach out there who I think would slide right in next year and make this a
Man, I was just about to get there. I was just about to get there, but my issue was the only issue with that was I feel he was going to Dallas. I was feeling that he was going to Dallas in that regard. But knowing Haslam, and by the way, I apologize for cutting you off on that
Oh, you
one.
good, bro?
Knowing Haslam, and Haslam pulled this card off with Deshaun Watson. He pulled this card that he don't give a care. He will do it if he has to.
Yeah, yeah.
If push came to shove, and my last question is coming up after this too. Push came to shove. Let's say the scenario came up. We started off the season 2-8, and the team just completely faltered. The running game was bad. The defense just completely fell apart, and everything. Stefanski does get canned. We had an interim finish the year. Sean Payton gets that call. And basically Haslam gives him a blank check. Gives him an absolute blank check. Tells him, we give you whatever you want. We give you whatever you want, and hell. And so much, and I'll even go one further. You ready for this one?
What's
You ready?
that?
He'll even tell him, if you want, you can even have the fate of Barry in your hands.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because is rumored that Sean Payton is gonna want total control of the players and the coaching. So that may spell the end of Andrew Berry right
And
there.
that's insane to even think about, because like I got nothing but love and respect for Andrew Berry. Andrew Berry has done a phenomenal job at drafting. An absolute phenomenal job. I'll even go as far as to say Andrew Berry is the top 5 general manager in this league. Like, I'll even go as far as to say that. Like, top 5 general manager. But someone like Sean Payton, who has proven to be a top tier head coach, I don't know how you could possibly pass that. I just don't know how.
No. If they get that opportunity, I would be disappointed if they didn't.
How could you? You would have to.
Because think about this: if it came down to the situation where they even discussing getting rid of Stefanski and picking up Sean Payton, chances are the Browns didn't make the move for Jimmy Garoppolo. And knowing you can probably grab Jimmy Garoppolo for next to nothing, because pretty soon the season is starting. So San Francisco is either going to have to cut him or just trade him to get what they want. And if Andrew Berry does not make that move, that also can be considered a fireable offense.
Oh man, oh man, look at you just throwing more gas on the fire, man. You just throwing more gas on the fire right there. Oh man. See, I didn't even think about that one. I did not think about that. But okay, last question. Last question of the day. Now, after everything that just transpired today, our record. What is our record what is our record right now?
With all being everything remaining the same quarterback and everything.
Let's go about this. Let's say if we did get Jimmy G and we did not get Jimmy G.
Okay, if we got Jimmy G, hold on, give me a second. Let me add this up. If we went out and got Jimmy G, I say we can possibly finish 11-6.
If we got Jimmy G, 11-6.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's a fair record. And if we did not get Jimmy G,
if we stick with Jacoby, then wait on Deshaun. I say we go 7-10.
7-10. So if we got Jacoby Brissett, if we got Jimmy G, I am going to sit here and say we go I'm gonna sit here and say if we got Jimmy G, we go. I'm gonna say 12-5. I'm gonna say 12-5. If
That
we
sounds
don't,
good.
if we don't, I'm gonna say 6-11.
Mm.
I'm gonna say 6-11.
That's a
But
big gap right
that
there.
is a big gap. That is a big gap. But I think the reason being is that as good as this is not a shot at Jacoby Brissett. I just think as limited as Jacoby is, he does not have that it factor to pull out games as Jimmy G can do. Because I think Jimmy G does just enough to win and does not mess up enough to basically to pull out the games for them to win, basically. And like I said, I think defensively, I really think defensively we are that special this year. I really think our defensively we are that special. And I think Jacoby, I just think I don't know. I just don't think that Jacoby has that ill factor around him that can basically pull it out, basically. Like Jimmy G has with him. Like I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
just don't see it.
and like you mentioned earlier on the start of the show, the biggest knock on Jimmy G is his effort in the playoffs. And you know, the way things are going, if we did get him, we wouldn't need him for the playoffs. We would have Deshaun back
Right,
at
exactly.
that point.
Right. They we wouldn't Jimmy G would not be a Jimmy G wouldn't even be a factor when it comes to playoffs because Deshaun Watson would be there. Like Watson would definitely be there. Like that's not even an issue at all. But that's it. That's the time that we have. The time we have. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next time. We still got to go through the NFC West. Until then, that's the Chuck. I am the Ruck. Later, Gators.